Uh, 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 uh. Good day, y'all. Mastermind. I know it's been a minute. Sorry, guys. But something meaningful just popped up in my heart and my mind to share with y'all. It's kind of simple. This one ain't gonna be long, but I just wanted to share how important rest is. We in a world where everybody glorifies being a hustler, being ambitious, constantly working, constantly striving, towards progression or success. And that's a beautiful thing, but you can only be as ambitious or progressive or a hustler to the extent of how rested you are. Actually, rest is so important that it's the prefix of restore. You can't restore without rest. Actually, restore, the prefix of restore is rest. So I just wanted to stress how important rest was. Rest amplifies everything that you want to do. It amplifies your hustle. If you're a hustler or if you're ambitious and you want to be a go-getter, rest grows and flourishes your muscle. If you're in the gym and you want to develop a physique and muscular, the more rested you are, the more efficient you are and energized you are in the gym. And actually, when you rest, your muscles develop and grow the most. Rest strengthens and amplifies your immune system, which helps you fight off, colds and different infections and different things like that, so that it won't penetrate you and sicken you. Rest strengthens your immune system. Rest also, it strengthens your metabolism. It makes you more able to digest and process your food better. So a rested mind and a rested body is like a supercharged person. So I know we all want to be ambitious and we all want to be successful, but I just wanted to stress how important rest was. Rest actually makes you, when you're reading, it actually makes you more receptive and knowledgeable and comprehensible. It makes you able to comprehend and absorb better what it is you're reading. So, just understand how important rest is. On the road to riches, on the road to success, I just wanted to state some fun facts on how important rest is, because I don't think society stresses that enough. Actually, the society we in stresses the opposite of that. And in a lot of ways, it stresses a lot of things that's counterproductive and not in our best interest. And if you ask me, I think they intentionally do that and allow that to permeate throughout the algorithms, because they don't necessarily have our best interest. Big Pharma doesn't, the medical industry doesn't, anything that wants to subliminally or oppressively control you necessarily doesn't really have your best interest, because the more strong and viable you are, the less profitable you are, the less sick you are, the less you're making someone else rich, whether it's a hospital industry, whether it's a mental health industry, whether it's the prison industry. Because the more rested you are, the more less reactive and reactionary you are, the more you're going to think and be less impulsive, so that you're going to make better decisions the more rested you are. A rested mind, you have stronger brain cells and blood circulation throughout the body and more stamina. So even in certain scriptures in the Bible, it states how important rest was. If I'm not mistaken, they say God rested on the Sabbath. So, think about it. The moon and the sun is like the active, the ambition, the thing that flourishes and make things grow. But the moon is, the rest, the restoration, the restore, the silence, the darkness. So, I just want to stress how important rest is. And it's so many other things I can touch on, but I don't want to make this too long and boring and uninteresting. But just do your research. Rest, restore. You can only be as powerful as rested you are. And me, being a business owner, owning a barbershop for 10 years, going on 11 years in August. My most lucrative week came when I rested the most, because I used to work 7 days a week for 7 years straight before I actually started taking like 1 day off. And I noticed, looking at my books, I had my most lucrative week when I actually took 2 days off. And I asked myself, how come I made the most when I rested the most? And it just came to me plain and simple, because I was more efficient. With those 2 days off that I took, I did twice the work in less amount of time, because I was more rested, I was more energized, I was more recharged. So that just showed me and highlighted in real time how important rest is, because you can do something, but if you're not being efficient, if you're not being effective doing whatever it is you're doing because you're not fully rested, then it's like you're doing it, but you're not doing it to its fullest potential. So for instance, like if you're full rested, just using my business as a litmus test or an indicator or a measurement, I should say. Let's say, for instance, if I'm fully rested and recharged, I can get a client. I can do, let's say, 3 clients in 1 hour, because I'm more efficient and effective and energized, versus working 7 days a week and being tired. It might take me an hour to do 2, or 45 minutes each person, or something like that. And it's the same thing in the gym. When I'm fully energized, I can go in there and be so efficient and just crush it and get, like, let's just say 2 hours worth of exercise in 45 minutes, versus being tired and I'm sluggish and I'm, just overworked, because I'm got the mindset of I just got to keep working. Nah, actually, you can overwork and be counterproductive, and you can be rested and energized and be more productive. So hope this helps somebody. Just, we all want to just ascend and grow and flourish in life, but just always remember how important rest is. Rest is just as important as the ambition. The sun is just as important as, the moon is just as important as the sun. The calm is just as important as the storm, or the energizing point, So just don't be afraid to rest. Trust yourself enough to know that you're going to stay consistent, even if you do decide to take a day or 2 days off. Just know that you're going to come back and be so much more powerful, that you actually coming back stronger. So you're making up for the days that you took off. So don't be afraid to rest. Mastermind, love. Good day.